Hello, everybody. I'm back. I just started the stream a second ago, so nobody will be in the stream right now. But for anybody watching the video after the fact, I'm here with Alessandro again for my third lesson in recent times. Yeah, I'm excited or maybe I should be afraid to get another lesson. I've been on a losing streak, Alessandro. The past 4 days, I've lost rating every day. It's been so frustrating when, again, just 3 months ago I was one win away from an all-time high. I was in the 2230s and now I'm mid 2000s. But yeah, welcome back.
Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, I was following. I saw. Well, there is kind of a trend. You notice. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that you have a thing with the time management.
Mm,
um, yeah, there was this one game in particular where I thought, yeah, this is clearly one of the biggest problems. There was a
mm,
threat of checkmate in one. You had two ways: weakening your king slightly with nothing clear happening to it, losing an exchange. It was absolutely a no-brainer. It was an only move. You just had to play G6. And you spend like a minute or a minute and a half, I don't remember, on that
mm,
move. And yeah, that's a bit too much for a move that's basically an only move. And it also happens in some positions where you don't really have a choice and you end up making the right move. Um, but you probably get stuck like trying to find something perfect when you're already kind of low on time. It's like you go down from 4 minutes to 3 minutes. Um, that is more of a practical issue to work on in that, well, you have um, to contradict your instincts maybe and play faster, even if it implies not playing perfectly. That's the truth.
mm.
Um, and it's also this might happen in rapid games where you're actually playing without increment. That also takes its toll naturally. Um,
Mm.
I bet it doesn't happen, at least not to the same extent when you play classical, does it?
Online, yes, it does. But it's a little bit different
Mm.
because when I play classical, I generally play 15 plus 15. So the increment, yeah, I can kind of rely on the increment. And what's interesting is that my bullet is my bullet is 2200. Like that's 1 plus 0. So like I can play quick if I have to. So it's really the psychological component. It's not a I don't think it's a skill issue. I think it's really this perfectionism. I have to beat this out of me. It's so hard.
Yeah, you somehow have to convince yourself that playing slow is somewhat equal to a blunder in certain situations,
Alessandro,
which for practical purposes it kind of is.
do you know
Sorry.
of any book that is just about time management? And I don't know why somebody has not written a book on this yet because I have not seen a single book on this. And I mean, I don't know why nobody has, yeah, done
I
so.
haven't even heard of one, and honestly,
Yeah.
I think we don't know how to deal with it.
Mm,
Frankly, there are just some players who are more inclined to use a lot of time, and we all basically redirect it uh, to more of a psychological profile. As you say, okay, you're perfectionist, you are trying to make the best move possible in the position, and that conspires against you having enough time at the end of the game. But at the same time, the problem is it requires a change of mindset. I don't know if I don't know. We probably need someone skilled enough in the fields of psychology
mm,
to write a book on this, not
mm,
only on chess.
mm,
But it does require a change of mindset because you might not consider spending a minute out of 3 minutes that you have on a move that's almost impossible you don't make because it's close to being an only move, you might not consider that a mistake or a blunder, but it kind of is,
Mm,
especially if it's a finish time control. It's just as bad as losing a pawn or two, maybe. And that's the mindset you have to get into to some degree, because the clock is part of the game just as much as the pieces. Unfortunately,
mm,
in some cases, it just is. Um, and yeah, of course, there's these tricks when you are in a good position to play fast, like protect all your pieces and such. But well, that's something you can handle already. I see that when you have a winning position, you win even if you are down to a minute or so. So that tends not to be such a problem nowadays, which is good. Um, but yeah, it's a change of mindset. There are some things that are actual mistakes, not on the chessboard, but for practical purposes that
mm,
you have to consider. For example, thinking only moves. I remember at my local club, we had two boards. I mean, there was one board that had the players aspiring to play on board one. It was all blitz, like whoever lost, well, had to leave the board, and the
mm.
one who wins continues
Yeah.
playing blitz. When you were more or less consistently beating players on board two, well, they would invite you. You would have the privilege of playing on board number one that night,
Okay.
maybe at some point.
Mm,
Um, and the first thing that they taught you on board two, and they were kind of right, is you don't think about only moves. That's an only move played.
mm,
These were all guys, club players who were very quick. They had a lot of course, practical knowledge, not so much theoretical. Like they would
mm,
be positionally quite suspicious, you could say.
mm,
um, but they all have this. Well, playing blitz, they were dangerous. Of course, they really knew what they were doing down the clock, and they would say, "Okay, if it's an only move, you just play it. That's it. You don't think about it."
mm.
Um, yeah, it's kind of right. To some extent, it's right.
When you say
Um,
when you say only move, do you mean like literally an only move, or do you mean just a very obvious move?
Very obvious.
Oh,
For
okay.
example, check. You have three options.
Mm,
One of them loses a queen. The
okay.
other
Mm,
one you get checkmated in one, and the other one it's really weakening. You don't like it, but you have to play it.
mm,
The others are really really worse. So it's a no-brainer. I mean, the comparison is not even close. You just go with the less terrible one. Um, and yeah, sometimes we don't do it. Like we get frozen there looking at the board. Okay, what do I do? Well, you really don't have much of a choice. Play fast and see what happens. um, but yeah, it's not only this, of
oof.
course. I mean, the other thing, I mean, I went through your games. I was surprised how much you improved in calculation. I mean, I think your calculation is way better than what I remember, which is great. Uh, and I think your positional play and your positional judgment could use some work, which is good because it's something that is not that hard to work on. It's mostly knowledge and and analysis of positions. So I did this. I put a couple of positions from your games. I tried to look for positions that you would normally get. For example, you play the bird and the Dutch,
Yeah.
and here you have with the black pieces something that you could get in any other game. um, so it was your move. It was your move, and you played King H8. Um,
Yeah, so this is a slightly unusual Dutch for me, because I typically don't play h6 that often, and the
mhm.
and White's bishop is usually not on h2, so this is a bit unusual. I know that like overall it's still a Dutch structure, but it's still the actual position itself is a bit unusual. So I wasn't so familiar with on like how to proceed here. And then the only thing I could think of was like a possible g5, so like rook g8 g5, and that's why I played king h8.
The plan makes sense. Now, yeah, this is a structure that could arise from Dutch. Also in Imso-Indian, it said there's a pawn on c3, of course, but I mean black structure mainly. f5 e6 with a fianchetto. You basically dominating the light squares in the center with these pawns and pieces from the distance. That's very typical. Now, your structure is a little bit fragile. E6, d6. If white manages to open up the center. And this is very typical for this structure. If white plays e4 in good conditions, your pawn on e6 has some questions to answer. and it's a bit of a problem. So you have to fight against e4, I think. Yeah, white should play it immediately if he gets a chance. So that's why you typically put a piece in there. Just go knight e4 before he plays e4. And I think this one was quite instructive because this is something that could happen in many games, considering the structures you play.
Mm-hmm.
In the Dutch, well, you might have seen that in the Dutch, when white organizes to play e4 and he catches you with
Like
with not
rookie
sufficient
one
pawn players
e4.
square.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not prepared, well, that tends to go bad. um, So yeah, 94. There's other ways. I guess queen g6 will also stop e4.
So
Um,
sorry to interrupt. I do remember during the game stating that, like, I was thinking about 94 because it's very typical, it's very thematic, and then taking with the pawn, which is not so common in the Dutch, but I know that in the bird it's often the computer's preference, and then you attack on the king side. And so I considered that here. I considered knight e4, knight takes e4, f takes e4, and then knight d2. And then I saw that position, and I wasn't sure of how I continue from there. And then that's why I thought it'd be kind of safer to play king h8 g5.
yeah, I mean, it's it's a change of plan maybe, but you're still playing on the king side. I mean, probably knight f. Well, you have to do something about the pawn, so I guess knight f6. And you have more space on the king side. I guess queen g6 will follow, and we'll have to take it from there. It's not written in stone that you won't play in the center with some c5. But the pawn on e4 is, well, it has a pretty restrictive effect on white's king side. You could still think of playing king h8, prepare g5, though you will have to have an eye put on his f3. Your priority is
Mhm.
probably to always control e4. So that will be something to consider in any case. F3 doesn't come in for free for white either. I mean, it's kind of weakening. But the pawn e4 has to be dealt with in some way. So I guess f3 is at least partly a natural move for white to try and play at some point. Um, but if you don't want to incur in this big structural change right away, you could play queen g6. At least for the time being, you are stopping e4. If he insists with rook e1, maybe you will need to play knight e4. But then again, this might be an inclusion that you would like to see because his rook will be better off defending f2 probably if we engage in the same thing here. Takes. It's not a no-brainer here that you may take with the bishop. I mean, it's not mandatory to take with the pawn. Maybe you want to eliminate the bishops. Kind of makes sense too, so your bishop doesn't get stuck behind your pawn. It's not a particularly bad one, but maybe you get rid of the bishops, you double up on the f file. Yeah, you have kingside play. It's still a game, definitely, but the problem is if you don't stop e4, well, the e6 pawn is an awkward target. But he made an even bigger mistake. E4 is the move. I'm pretty sure he has to do this. Um, did you consider this one?
Um, I mean, I think I did, and it was really just being unfamiliar with that position after knight d2 that I just mentioned, and that I didn't want to play knight e4. Um, because I mean, if I don't play knight e4, the only other way to stop e4 is d5. But this doesn't. This is not really. I mean, if I want to play Stonewall, I would go about it a different way. I wouldn't put the bishop on b7.
Yeah, you'll lose the pawn on c7 immediately too. It's yeah. Um, the thing is, if he plays e4, it's tough for you. I mean, he's threatening to capture on f5 naturally, and if you start exchanging stuff, that pawn is a big target, quite an easy target too. White's move just flow. You are the one with all the weaknesses. Your king is a little weird because of the weakness on g6 and the
Mm,
weaknesses around it in general. The e6 pawn is a huge target. That's the one that I'm most worried about.
mm-hmm.
It's kind of easy for him to play rook a e1 or rook f e1. Yeah, very tough when white successfully plays e4 without you getting uh, some particular type of counterplay. He played a terrible blunder though. I mean, this I don't know what this was. Uh, well, no, it was a blunder. What do you play now? Now you win.
Oh,
Incredible.
I remember analyzing it after just bishop e4 wins. Yeah, I was angry I didn't see this. There was no excuse. There's no excuse. Like I should have seen that 100%. I think at this point, what? Let me see. I think I was slightly low on the clock at this point. It doesn't show. Well, if you go back and I think I had like 4 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I
five
no.
minutes.
No, I had time. There's no excuse. I should have seen it. I wasn't playing so well the past couple of days.
As far it's I have to say in your defense that it's kind of unexpected that White is hanging a piece here.
Mm,
It's very strange. But yeah, he walked into it. Now, as far as time management goes in this game, you made a bunch of natural moves and you spent half your time on them.
yeah.
That's definitely a time management issue right there
So
because
yeah, yeah, yes, it's terrible. And just as a note in relation to that, I tell my viewers this all the time. um, when I'm playing an opening that's like a theoretical opening that I've studied and is in my repertoire, I am much more prone to get into time trouble because I want to remember everything perfectly, and I care so much about playing the optimal move. So it's interesting when I play an opening that I've never seen before and it's just like a random moves, I play much quicker because I don't care as much. But I feel like when I play an opening I've looked at before, I just feel an immense compulsion to play it perfectly. This happens a lot in the Nidor, for example.
yeah, well, I would say that in the night of maybe
Mm,
it makes a bit more
mm,
sense because it's so sharp that you have to get it right or you lose.
mm, mm,
Many times at least it's like that. Uh, but in these positions, you may have so many moves that are close in evaluation
mm,
that, yeah, one move order or the other, it may not make a big difference. There might be even a lot of valid choices that are more or less equal in terms of objectively how good they are. So yeah, the problem is this will hurt you not only in rapid, it will hurt you whatever time control you play. If you play like this in a classical tournament, you will just have more time to indulge into
mm.
this,
Yeah.
trying to remember everything. Sometimes your opponent might have played something that's not even entirely correct, and you don't necessarily have a file for it, but you kind of know it's off and you have to play by yourself. You will do it fine because you know the themes. um, but yeah,
Mm,
that's a problem. You get a very natural position. You're not necessarily better because White didn't do anything crazy
mhm.
until this move, at least. And you just have half the time for your opponent to play.
Yeah.
I'll make like this list of blunders and try to convince myself that they are blunders. Not playing only moves immediately, spending half of my time on an opening, I'm familiar with. Those two things I think belong right on top, as far as time management goes, at least. Um, we could make a table of commandments of time management,
Yeah.
basically. 94. Okay. I mean, bishop before is better,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yes.
Well, just for the audience, the point is that that there's a fork if he captures, the knight on f3 is gone after the queen moves, and the queen incredibly has nowhere to go where she defends the bishop, so that bishop is um, so it was a skewer. So black played 94. Okay, at least positionally it's correct. Rook e1, knight df6, you just reinforce e4. I have nothing to say bad to say about that. What about knight b3 though? How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I thought that was. I remember commenting something along the lines of like, "This does nothing. Like, what's the point of this?" I did not see the idea at all, and so I pretty much just ignored it. I still don't know what he was trying to do. I think then he might. I think then he goes knight fd2 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he unravels the knights. He wanted to make room apparently. It's just low
Oh,
and
f3 maybe
now
was maybe his idea.
yeah, he was shuffling pieces around
Mm,
until he could play f3. It's
mm,
low though. It's really really slow. Um, that's another pearl of wisdom I learned in the club in those days. They would say a knight on b3 is useless against a pawn on b6. I think they used the example of
mm,
the knight on g3 versus a pawn on g6. You don't put a knight on g3 if there's a pawn on g6. What's the point? They used to say.
mm.
um, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of a pattern that is
Yep.
true.
Yep.
um, the knight is stuck on b3 doing nothing. And you hit the nail here with your move. That's good. G5, you have to do it. You have a good blockade on e4, space on the king side. So let's
Well,
go.
I was committed. I was ready to play it once I played King H8. So yeah.
He got it coming. I mean, he's really asking for it with how slow he's maneuvering, with the hook that will allow you to break on g4. Uh, he's been asking for it, and g5, g4 makes all the sense in the world. Now, knight fd2. Uh, yeah, this was a good opportunity. You just started changing here, and you let him off the hook, but he should be crushed. I think it can't be that far from being a crushing attack. But what should you play?
Um, I'm trying to remember what I did play.
Oh, you
I
got
I think I
two
traded.
on
Yeah,
b2.
yeah, I traded. Right. Yeah. Um. Um. I think G4. Just keep the attack going because we're ready to roll here.
Yes, yes, um it's overwhelming. I think I don't know if he survives this, but um I'll say probably not. He really went too far with all those maneuvers. And the problem is also time. You with all the trades, he gets some moves in between to well to defend, to play f3, and the game takes a completely different uh, path after that. But g4, I don't know what he does about this. If he takes, you take on g4, the queen's coming to h5. Um, the G file is open. He can't really hope to survive this, I believe. Um, Knight takes, you have both bishop takes and pawn takes. It's hard to decide on one of the two really. Um, It looks crashing, frankly. I mean, what about h4 trying to keep things close? I suspect that it can't be. I'm sorry.
Hmm. I mean, Queen h5 is tempting just to provoke g3, but it doesn't mean his bishop's going to get stuck there forever because he always does have f3 eventually. But I'm not seeing another idea yet other than Queen h5. There's, I mean, I looked at Knight h5, but he's ready to take on e4. Somebody, Jerome in chat says g3 to try to open the g file. But after FG, I don't know what we're doing there.
I think he probably tries to bail his bishop out with bishop takes. If you exchange it, he's probably happy that bishop is suffering. uh, and it's changing, it might not be the worst outcome for white. But I think all of those moves make sense. If he plays g3, I think he's dead. That bishop, you say, yeah, he has f3. It's going to be really hard to play f3. The pawn on g3 will be a tremendous weakness. The pawn on e3, it's really far into the future. It will be very, very hard to accomplish that. Um, in fact, well, there are many ways. The knight h5 is also a way. If we want to force g3, else we just capture the pawn
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just
Well, here I thought he had 94.
yeah, we could take with the bishop, I guess. Take, and then we take down the pawn h4.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not just the pawn, I believe. That's mostly why I want to do it. It's also well, the attack still goes on. Queen g6, g3 is in the cards. Um, Queen h5 may attain the same thing. Let's see. I think we achieve the same thing. The only move that kind of annoys me here is bishop g3. I don't want to take. But we don't need to. Maybe we just go. I know it looks weird, but we're getting the pawn h4 anyways. Knight takes e4, bishop takes e4. It may work with change on c2, and then bishop takes h4 again. Um, it looks like either the pawn on h4 is dead, or
What about
or he has to play g3. But yeah. Mhm.
but what after Queen h5, Bishop g3, Knight takes g3, F takes g3? What about Knight e4? That seems good.
Knight, sorry, Queen
Yeah,
g3, bishop g, Queen h5, bishop g3. Now knight takes.
yeah, and then F takes, and then Knight e4.
If it changes,
Yeah, Bishop takes, and then I thought we have Bishop h4 and then g3.
um, bishop takes,
Well, like first we
pawn
can
takes.
yeah, and then Queen takes and then g3. I was hoping for.
Well, you have to solve this first.
Uh, what? How? No,
It's been if you play g3, queen takes.
no. Our queen's on h4. I'm saying after g takes h4. So like, uh, yeah,
Takes,
yeah,
take.
yeah, yeah. Queen takes and then g3.
But now it's
because he
Nice
can't.
white to play.
Yeah, yeah, but he can't go G3.
Well, we have rook f4.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's
I don't know
a
because you take and the rook is hanging, so
okay.
there are some tricks to consider.
And even just like rook G8, rook G5, it seems like there's something.
There could be, yeah. If he doesn't have the time to play a move like G3 and get the queen to the defense, which he doesn't, tactically it might be justified. So bishop takes h4 here. We don't have the intermediate bishop takes because bishop takes g3. so so he's gotta take, queen takes. It's hard to solve the problem for white. G3 is coming. Rook f4. It might well work. It definitely might well work. I mean, this is a move I did. Sorry, going back. This is a move I didn't want to make if he actually manages to solve the problem of his bishop, but yeah, we're threatening this and this. So yeah, tactically it could well work, I think.
It's certainly a lot of pressure for white.
That required, yeah, because King G2 would just blow this up, or Knight takes G3, maybe even better.
Or even like bishop H4 might work even.
Yeah, because we always have some G3 coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, King H2 is too much. But Knight takes doesn't seem to work because of that detail. Bishop takes H4. It's an impressive move.
It's on my puzzle streak. So
Yeah. Yeah, the bishop hanging on C2 is partially responsible because
yeah, it stops the rook
you
F4.
can't use the
Yeah.
yeah, it stops rook f4. In this position, I was looking at queen f4, but you have bishop takes g3, and then you take the bishop, and it's 2 pawns already. Yeah, white is dead. Yeah, you certainly had to push. It looks just too good. If he pushes his pawn, he's losing the pawn at least. It's the only thing that allows him to keep the g5 close, but it's clearly a concession. Whereas when you started trading,
Mm.
he got the opportunity to play e4. These were a lot of its changes, and now it's really hard for you to stop e4 at all. And your king is, I mean, you went from attacking on the g file and opening up the kings in your favor to having the worst king out of the two.
Yeah.
When he plays e4, suddenly your king is worse than white's. Um, Out of nowhere, it's just those exchanges, and yeah, you're facing the pawn break. Your plan maybe should shift to answering e4 with f4. It's not pretty, it's not the same that you have, but if the center opens up now, your king is not in good shape. In fact, you play queen h5, e4, and you took, which gave him direct access to the e6 pawn, which is basically a dead man walking after after the e file is open. Um, so you had to push. You had to push. Yeah, it's not what you were hoping for when all of this contact on the king side started, but it wasn't an option. And after pawn takes, this is now probably a big position mistake. Bishop takes, and you are close to position you're losing. I might be overreacting, but yeah, e6 is a huge target, and now he doubles up, triples up on the e file, and yeah, the game turned around in like 3 or 4 moves. um, and well, a lot of adventures in the game, and until it
Uh,
finished. But I was more interested in looking at the game from that perspective of
uh,
the positional mistake of not stopping e4.
Alessandro, can I ask you? I know it's hard to give a mathematical answer, but if you had to guess, what percentage of my current issues, like my problems in chess and lack of improving, do you think is related to time management?
I have one. 30?
Okay, 30. Okay, so it's not too bad
It,
then.
no, because I mean, I think what improved, at least seeing from the distance when we just started, is that you lose games where you are completely winning, for example, and oh, you had 2 minutes. There was no way you made it in time. Now, if you have a very superior position, I see you winning with confidence, with good technique. Like you keep everything defended, you play rather
Mm,
quickly, and you win. That's good. That makes up for getting low on time many times, especially when you get good positions to get low on time. um, the problem comes, of course, when the game is still a fighting game. It's complicated, and you are down on the
mm,
clock. Like
mm.
well, as it was happening around here. I mean, you have uh, for less than 5 minutes, and your opponent has, well, the entire time bank, nine
Yeah.
minutes and 11 seconds. Um, could you make it to a win in 4 minutes? Yeah, it's basically a blitz game, but still your opponent has way more than you, and you have to be precise. You make a couple of mistakes, and that's it. You're low on time with a position that's changing a lot. Um, so I think this is where you slip away a little bit. Not your entire game, of course. I mean, there are things that
Y-
chess wise can
y-
improve a lot, and they will even
Yeah.
help with time management too.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that Do you know the Botvinnik rule?
No,
So he had
not
a
really.
he had a general time management rule for the opening. Because he actually wrote down a lot of um uh time management ideas. I but one of the one that he's really known for is the Botvinnik rule. So he says that a player should spend roughly 20% of their total, like their original time, on the first 15 moves. So in this case, that would be 2 minutes. So I should have 8 minutes after 15 moves. And so here, what I spent double that, right? I spent triple that. I spent, well, almost. Yeah. So I spent far more. So according to Botvinnik's rule, I should have 8 minutes on the clock here.
Yeah, yeah, I think it especially applies when nothing too eventful has happened, in that you didn't have to make any very big or very tough decisions. Your moves have been natural so far, like very schematic. D6 F5, a knight to F6, a knight to D7, bishop on E7, bishop on B7. That's, well, basically normal piece placement, no complicated lines, no
Mm,
special problems that your opponent posed. So yeah, you should play that part faster. Definitely, you should be closer to what he has. um, then maybe he plays too fast. I mean, this guy. There's also people who just
yeah.
blitz out the moves and they're winning. They have like 7 minutes to your 1 minute and they blunder inexplicably, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
win.
Yeah. Probably a kid.
um, yeah, the other extreme.
Yeah.
But I would say it's not as bad as you think, in terms of the fact that if you improve some other areas of your chess, your time management will also improve. I mean, as
Mm,
your
mm,
technique and calculation
mm,
improve,
mm.
your problems also well improve in a certain way.
Well, yes
In
and
that
no. Yes and no in that one, because if when my calculation improves, I just look deeper. So
Yeah, but you became a better player. What I notice is that, yeah, if you're totally winning and you know it's a position that you can where you can make a lot of safe moves and your opponent doesn't
Mm,
have any targets,
mm.
you can play fast and
Yeah,
win.
yeah.
And the same will happen, say, if you work on your positional assessment a little bit. It improves your intuition, and there are some things that you will just do way more automatically because you will say, okay, this is right, this is where this piece belongs. um, and you know the decision will be sound. That will also help consume less time, I think. um, but yeah, whenever the position is, then you will probably face the problem that whenever the position is sharp or there are many possibilities, or you feel uh, like you can really punish your opponent, you will still burn a lot of time. But we have to reduce the number of positions in which this will happen, I would say. um, well, this is another typical position that you could more or less get in any game. Well, not typical because you play G6. I know you prefer the knight dwarf, but I also know that in some cases where your opponent doesn't make you face one of the critical lines, you might go G6 and play a good version of this, which this certainly is. I mean, white was all over the place. I mean, the placement of the bishops is a little bit hard to explain. White castle kingside didn't attack you, even though you played some sort of of dragon-like setup. So
It's
it's
like a
mostly fine. I'm not saying white is lost, but
kind of
it
a
certainly didn't have a
yeah.
plan.
It's kind of like a dragon dwarf. Although dragon dwarf usually the
Yeah.
knight is on c6, I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's more typical of the of any dragon, really, in the Dragon Dwarf 2. Um, but yeah, white clearly is just moving pieces and developing, and that's it. It's clear that he doesn't have a proper anti-Sicilian setup or a proper setup to attack a Sicilian defense. So you are fine. You play Queen C7 here, which I didn't like. We're gonna see why, but
I felt extremely uncomfortable in this game, by the way.
interesting.
Oh, I think I remember the computer wanted knight c5, and once I saw the suggestion, I'm like, oh, of course that makes so much sense. That's the most obvious move. I'm hitting e4, I'm hitting a5, and my bishop is clear. It does everything. I don't know why I didn't consider it.
Yeah, knight c5 makes a lot of sense. Normally, white, almost in any Sicilian, in most openings, really doesn't want to give away this bishop just like that. It's not that he allows this exchange of a knight for a bishop if he at least doesn't get anything for it. So the fact that you could trade this knight for this bishop whenever you
Mm,
want means that you are automatically okay. I'm not going to say you're much better or
mhm.
anything. White is still more or less healthy, but he clearly got nothing out of the opening, like
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, that's very
um,
very typical in the Sozin or the Fischer lines with with the early bishop c4, and then black usually goes for this knight c5. Yeah,
exactly. And black even like employs some time to go knight f6 to d7 and c5 in some lines. Here you're getting this for free, and you didn't even need to do anything.
mm. Yeah, and
um,
I know like Fischer would never give that bishop up. He loved that bishop, the light squared bishop.
Yeah, no, I mean, he would need to get really something in exchange. For example, the pawn will
Mhm.
be on f4, and if you play knight c5, I might hit you with
Yeah,
e5,
yeah.
for example. Um, so this is very comfortable. You don't need to take the bishop right away. He doesn't have anywhere to go. In fact, I'll just keep it there in case I manage to play b5 and make him play
Yeah,
a move like a3, and then I
yeah,
can
yeah,
capture, for
yeah. Then you
example.
take it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I make him waste a move on a move like this, and
Hmm.
even maybe make him take with the pawn. So bishop b7, b5, and well, Sicilian like pawn push on the queen side. Um, this bishop doesn't belong here. I don't know what he's doing there. um, so yeah, and that's very typical. And I saw it in another game that your opponent just played some random bishop c4 and then bishop b3, and And yeah, just going after the bishop makes a lot of sense. Not all the time you're going to have to take it right away on b3. You can even wait because what's he going to do? Spend more time
Mhm.
rerouting it? That's hardly a possibility. Uh, and queen c7, I'm not saying it's a big mistake, but it kind of allows a typical way for white to ruin your pawn structure a little bit. It might be sharp, but
I think in the game, like in a few moves, I think he goes bishop f6, and I think that was this game. And I remember if that well, first of all, was that this game?
bishop
Yeah, bishop takes
g6.
no bishop takes f6.
Oh,
Does
well,
was
he didn't.
was
No, he
that
didn't do it. There is
okay?
that
Okay.
possibility.
Oh no,
If you
but
do it right away, you
yeah,
take with a knight.
right. I know, but there was a game where that happened. Okay, so that wasn't this game. Okay, so
Oh, you had a game. Okay.
yeah, yeah, and for some reason I didn't consider that just because I ruled it out of my mind that like why would he ever take my knight? So okay, but okay, it was a similar position though. Okay, so you're saying that white has a move that might look weird, but it can cause issues with black's pawn structure. Um,
Yeah, it's in the same spirit of that bishop takes f6 thing because you put the queen on c7, knight d5 will come with an attack to f6, but neither the correct move order for white.
well, I'm wondering about like f4, f5, kind of like the poison pawn line, because then we black might have to play e6, and then d6 becomes weak.
um, well, I mean, d6 is nonetheless a weak pawn in general in the Sicilian, and he might be able to live with that. But I mean, this idea, like taking on f6 and playing knight d5 with the queen on c7, it makes sense. If he does it right now, you still have this knight.
Mhm.
So
Oh, 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 oh,
what
yeah,
could
yeah,
white be?
yeah, yeah. So bishop d7, yeah, and maybe it was this game. Is this what happened? Or?
No, he didn't play it. He played knight d5, which was also reasonable because he was aiming at your e7 pawn.
Yeah,
It did make sense. You could take with the queen, even if it looks funny. uh, but he still has the same idea. If you take with the queen, takes, 95,
yeah,
and he's also threatening
yeah,
this. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
still
yeah. No, this is bad.
so you have to take with the bishop. And then bishop takes f6. He takes f. I'm
Yeah,
not convinced this is that terrible because you have the pair of bishops. It could be worse.
yeah, but
If he had a bishop.
something's gone wrong though.
At least it wasn't the idea, was it? You didn't want this to happen for sure.
Mhm.
If you take with the bishop, of course, it's a disaster. You also lose that bishop. You can't let that happen. That was a great bishop, and now you just have a weakness for nothing. With the pair of bishops, well, the dynamics might allow you to even sack this pawn and play for activity. I still don't like it, but what you're gonna do about it? Now you are in here and you have to play it. But yeah, at least it gives White some play, which he didn't deserve. I mean, all this maneuver with the bishop to a4, that was so. Um, this is what people who don't have a repertoire against the Sicilian do. It feels like they would usually play, I don't know, e4, e5, bishop c4 in many lines. So against the Sicilian, they play bishop c4. In this case, it might be a bit different because he played the bishop b5 check line. So okay, that's a valid that's a valid opening for white. Still feels kind of odd. He went 95, and well, he also complicated matters a little bit here because he can claim that at least he has pressure on e7, and it's just not the same game anymore. We can't claim that white is much worse here. And the game continued thereafter. You had other games where where this was a theme. I mean, the opponent will play a bishop to c4, for example, and you might get the chance to play b5, bishop b3, knight c5, have
Mm.
everything under control. The bishop, you can trade the bishop at any time. And it's sometimes it's hard to see from a distance why it's so hopeless for white to get his bishop traded like that. Um, but it is. For example, let's say in this position, knight c5, bishop b3, bishop d7. You might think, okay, I can capture any time, I'm better. Yeah, it's a little bit more than that even. Let's assume some moves that look more or less reasonable. They might or might not be reasonable, but well, suddenly you are threatening b4 and capturing the pawn e4. So
A3, yeah.
they play it.
Yeah.
Now you can do probably more than one thing. I'm even starting to like a5 honestly, because with the pressure that we have on e4, he certainly can't take comfortably. um, but even if we go knight takes b, rook c8, then we put the bishop on e6. We have all the pressure on the c file. White has no prospects. I mean, he can hardly think about attacking without his light square bishop. Um, so this is kind of a dream of a Sicilian player. The a5 looks really nice because of the b4 threat. It looks really, really nice. Um, but like, sticking to the plan, say we exchange, um, bishop c6 or bishop or rook c8 or even a5. Why not? This is still a thing. Um, in the long run, the bishops take over. The knights are not even close. Um, and the more important thing, you are not being attacked. And by experience in the Sicilian, you know that when white doesn't play for an attack and your pieces are well coordinated, you are better. It's not even that you equalize. Normally, you are somewhat better already. Um, okay. And then,
Oh, this
well, I
is
don't know if you have any questions about that.
Peter. But he's Canadian, right?
I think he is, yeah. I mean, he,
I'm pretty sure. Let me look him up. I think he might be from BC. Yeah, he's Canadian. Um,
oh, cool.
I think he's from. He was born in Greece, but yeah, he moved when he was a young boy. Oh, Winnipeg, Vancouver. Yeah, so yeah, he's from BC. And yeah, with Duncan Suttles, he played a lot with like Duncan Suttles, and yeah, I knew the
Have you
name
met
was.
him?
No, he was born in 1950. Is he still alive? He's still alive, apparently.
Yes,
He's
his family
75.
was
But
Mhm.
he retired. I'm just reading on Wikipedia. He retired from competitive play in the mid 1980s to work as a computer programmer. And
Yeah.
in the late 1970s and early 1980s, he was a frequent training partner of Bobby Fischer, who stayed at his home
Oh,
in San Francisco. Yeah, um, yeah. No, he's one of the older names in Canadian, our very small Canadian chess history. Yeah. So that's interesting that you pulled up a game from him. I wonder let's see. This
yeah,
was 1970.
I
Oh,
don't know.
the interzonal Petropolis. Oh, Greece. Is that Greece? No, that's Brazil, right? Uh,
Metropolis is in Brazil. I think so.
okay. Interzonal Brazil. Okay.
Yeah, it's in Brazil. Um, an interzonal tournament. Well, those tournaments were the ones that led to the candidates tournament. They had this very long cycle that would never end. And if the interzonal tournament could be like 20 something games long. It
Mm.
was crazy. I mean, crazy times. The candidates itself were really grueling. Those tournaments would never end. Um, and well, he was playing interzonal. That's pretty impressive.
Mm.
Um, it's a qualifier. It's like playing, I don't know, the Grand Swiss nowadays, or something like
Mm.
that, where
Mm.
they qualify for the candidates, at least some of the slots. are awarded there.
Well, it looks like he lost the game though here. So, yeah.
Yeah, a pretty nice game. But well, this is a typical grandmaster win where white really shows his expertise to exploit a technical advantage. Not really easy. Um, well, I put this game in here just as a way to train strategic thinking, basically. And I know you do a lot of puzzle.
Streak.
What do you call it? It's not survival. What is it?
Puzzle streak.
Storm. Streak.
Yeah.
The puzzle streak. Yeah. Um, and of course, for tactics, it's great. But on the side, you have to just probably start working with positions that are a little bit less forcing in nature and where you just have to make judgment calls. You still need to calculate. The calculation is just part of it. It's you don't only calculate where there is tactics involved. Also for strategical decisions, you need to see some moves again. Um, so let's go. Before Knight of Seeds, it was it started off as a normal Queen's Gambit decline and ended up being a semi-slab. And they played, well, very mainstream opening even nowadays. The Meran, D takes C, Bishop takes C of Theory. I never got myself to play against the Meran with white. I mean, I always played an anti-Meran because it's so complex. It's the kind of thing where you look at the databases and I see there are like 20,000 games. It's really off-putting. um, Well, black plays an old move. It's still very, very much playable, but as I mean, for my very small knowledge in this matter, I know that at some point Bishop B7 became a bit more fashionable because in some lines black would play B4 and C5 without the need to play A6, which could be a loss of time in some variations. But it's still a very valid move, so no mistakes yet. E4, and well, here the confrontation begins for the center. Black needs to break, or else he's just suffocating. And both E5 and D5 are moves, and very theoretical moves, and extremely complicated pawn structures arise. White play D5 in this one, and main theory goes C4. D takes E, F takes E, kind of ruining the pawns, and white plays bishop C7, queen C7. Bishop C2, queen C7.
This does not look
Very
like this does not look like a D4 opening.
Yeah, the Slav is wild, and semi-Slav and Slav. Well, there's the Botvinnik system, which
I've
is
heard.
insane.
Yeah.
The pawn structures are very wacky. They're very hard to comprehend. They are very sharp. There's a lot of theory. Apparently, Black didn't want anything to do with this, so he closed the center with e5, which turned out to be quite a mistake. um, but why? Why would e5 not be it's just on principle? I think there's something bad to be said about e5.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to look at the three sacrifices. It's hard to ignore. There's knight e5 and knight takes b5, bishop takes b5. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if any of them. I mean,
so maybe because after the sacrifice, you don't have anything else coming. He plays bishop d6 and castles, and a bit suspicious.
Yeah, it's hard not to consider though.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a positional reason that e5 is not good, or tactical? Or you won't tell me?
No, it's more of a positional reason. Playing e5 close in the game right now. Um,
Well, yeah, I mean, already, I mean, I'm looking at A4, but B4, and it's kind of unclear. I mean, I'm guessing 92, and it seems, and then like, seems okay for black. I think it might be A5 even. That seems okay for black. I don't know. E5, it doesn't seem that inherently bad when I first look at it. I guess like white can do an eventual pawn break on f4, like castles and then f4 eventually, and then those pawns are rolling like e4. Um, I'm guessing black's bishop.
Know
I'm
how far, I don't know how far they will go. His pieces are more or less ready for that kind of play. A bishop on d6 and a knight on e5 would make for very quick occupation of e5. So if you manage to break on f4, you better take back with the pawn because e5 will be a great square for the black pieces if the e5 pawn disappear. But yeah, I mean the space advantage that white consolidates after black just plays e5, it's gonna come back to haunt black. He might have thought, well, I'm actually expanding on the queen side, but there's also the vulnerability of playing these pawns way too early, especially b5. You did mention a4, and it's kind of the idea. With a4, you'll be fighting for which square?
well, I'm fighting for b5.
Um, well, I mean, when he pushes, because he will have to do something about it. When he finally pushes b4, which square is open now for your pieces? Which outpost?
Oh, I have c4 if he pushes b4.
Exactly. Well, against this structure, and this is true in many openings, really. In this structure, you will play a4 to get rid of this pawn somehow, making it, well, go through b4. So you get the outpost on
Mm.
c4. That's the goal of a4. It happens in many openings. In the Sicilian, this a4 is also a thing, sometimes just
Mm-hmm.
to weaken black's queen side, get some initiative there.
Sveshnikov, yeah, it's common.
Yeah, in many Sicilians, black has to decide if he's going to play b5 early or not so early, because sometimes a4 creates some chaos before he gets to castle, and that's a problem. In this case, it was premature, but it's not so easy to exploit. If you went a4 right now, you also have some problems with this pawn, and black can just start advancing, and you will have
Oh, yeah,
some issues
yeah, knight
early
c5.
on. Yeah, everything's coming. Probably you need to drop back here, just not to lose the pawn, but before this can't be good. This is no fun, I bet. um
Yeah, can it just go b3 instead, like before knight
or
c5?
b3.
Yeah.
B3 making you play bishop b1 is also really suspicious for white. Yeah, those pawns are going maybe a bit too far. So it's early to play a4. So we don't want to face c4, he played b3 there. First of all, well, stop c4 at all costs. Black continues developing. Now, very interesting. A4 seems like the move. A4 would seem very natural at this point because if he plays b4, we get everything we wanted. We get the c4 square, and after some maneuvers, we will just play knight d2, knight c4, beautiful square for the knight. Actually, the c5 pawn will also become a problem. It's backward on an open file. We could play bishop b2, rook c1 with pressure on the c file. And black has nothing. Black is just in this restricted position with less space and facing all those problems, uh, facing all those weaknesses on his own. But if you play a4, he has a great position upon sacrifice that really complicates whites. Um, White's life here.
I'm guessing it's c4.
Mhm. With an idea that you might have seen before. C4,
Well, no,
pawn takes.
still knight c5.
Yeah, but before knight c5, before. It's a
Mm,
sacrifice, like a
mm,
proper pawn sacrifice. But you get c5, you basically block the c4 and d5 pawns, and you get a very powerful passed
mm.
pawn on d4.
This would
You get this
this is totally like Petrosian style.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you get you. It's a positional sacrifice to get control of a color
Mm,
complex. It's very Petrosian like, yeah. um so there you go. Villazas was probably thinking in these terms. He was looking for uh for counterplay in this way. At grandmaster level, well, it's hard to catch white into this. I'm not saying it's terrible for white, but it definitely gives black an initiative that white wasn't really eager to give. So Podolski just castles. He just castles. Big difference. If c4 right now, it just doesn't work the same way. Pawn takes, b4, and without a pawn on a4, it's not the same. This pawn is not a passed pawn to begin with. But we can also play knight a4 and fight for c5 immediately. So it's definitely not the same thing. White is just up a pawn, and he has a say on the dark squares, and most especially on c5. And we can also attack the pawn on b4 with a3. So yeah, it's just an extra pawn for white. So black is just waiting for you to play a4 to play the the positional sacrifice. Okay, castle, and well, we have a nice space advantage, but we need a plan. We still want to play a4, but c4 is always a problem. Um, the plan that Podolski comes up with is very elegant because coordination of his pieces is perfect. He plays natural moves that he'll probably play anyway, but he prepares to make a4 possible. I will let you think. I will let you think a little bit to see if you come up with a piece arrangement that allows you to play a4 without facing the pawn side.
it's tough. It's not simple. Not simple. Um,
Mhm.
like I thought about a lot of different candidate moves. None of them came up with anything. There's like rookie one to put the bishop on f1, but that doesn't solve anything. Like he's still going to go c4, b4. Um, um,
Yeah,
I
but c4 won't be hitting your bishop.
Oh, so you're saying so that would be more than one move though. That would be two moves to prepare.
Yeah, it's a plan. It's a
Okay,
plan.
okay.
It's not like Black can do a lot. I mean, the position is quite close. His what is his plan too? Like he'll have to start maneuvering his pieces probably to improve them, but it's hard to know where he's going. Maybe rook e8, knight f8, knight g6. I don't know. His plan will be a long one too. So rook e1, yeah, that's actually quite good. You are going to avoid his pawn sacrifice. If you manage a4 b4 to happen, if you make it happen, it's a big positional plus. Black's pawns will be paralyzed. You will put something on c4, and he'll be in real trouble here. It's a great idea. I mean, after this, well, Black played rook b8. I don't know if it was entirely necessary, but it's not like he could really stop White's plan anyway. Um, and now a4 is coming, and c4, the threat of c4 has been averted. Quite deep prophylaxis, you could say. c4, it's just, I guess it's not the same anymore. A takes opens up a few more squares for our pieces, the a file. And if he wants to do the same, well, you even have knight b5, so definitely it's not the same anymore. um, Even knight a4 was also good, as in the previous line we saw, but the rook on e1 is excellent. The setup for white is great. The bishop still does its job from f1. The rook protects e4. Everything is in its place. Everything's so well coordinated. So a4 happened, and black really has no way of keeping the pawn on b5. So b4, knight b1, and the knight is just going to go to c4 with complete domination. Now, if this is not positionally losing for black, it's not that far. It's a really nasty position. With the knight on c4, you would attack d6, e5, you would play bishop e2 also. It's way
There's
too much to handle.
there's a line in the bird where you do that. Black has a pawn on c5. Well, they have double pawns on c6 and c5. Sorry, yes, c6 and c5, and then you go knight. It might be when they play d5, I think, and then you go knight b1, and then knight a3, knight c4, I think.
Oh, it's you played some games with that, I think.
Well, but
I
no,
don't know if the recent days.
but normally you don't go knight b1. That's a very rare line. Normally, you go knight a4. Uh,
To
yeah,
attack c5, bishop h3,
yeah,
and yeah.
yeah, like a reverse Nimzo. But sometimes, yeah, you can go knight b1 and then put it on c4. So just like this.
Uh,
Yeah,
for example, if Black had played d4 himself, for
yeah,
example,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, he weakens that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a terrible structure for like you put knight on c4 and you might break with c3 and expose the pawns later.
yeah.
It's
It's just like Nimzo. Yeah,
yeah, it's Nimzo style.
yeah.
Yeah, you see, those positional patterns really help because they're more or less telling you where to play and what are the typical maneuvers. And well, in the Slav complex, this is very common. It's just that in this position, it had this twist where Black was actually aiming at a very nice positional sacrifice that will give him
Mm.
well, domination over the dark squares. White did great to avoid it. That bishop f1, rook e1, bishop f1 is really a very cool way of solving everything. Um, and black is probably lost. Positionally speaking, it's just a disaster. I don't think any human being would be very happy to defend this. Uh, Even objectively, I don't know objectively how bad it is. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. Even the computer thinks black is trying more than the material would suggest. Um, 1.8, at least is the first result that Stockfish suggests. 1.8, I mean, it's impressive for a position where not even a pawn has been traded. Um, so while black tries to fight against knight c4, there's always a5 as an idea. We're not going to go crazy and play it right now, because black also has a tough decision playing a5 himself. He weakens b5, the pawn might be a target later on, so it's a tough call for black to go and play a6, a5 anyway. So knight bd2. Rook e7, black maneuvers. He's playing like on a tile. I mean, he can barely move his pieces because of the lack of space. This rook e7 had the idea of well, defending e5 with the pawn. He wants to play f6 so as to free the rest of his pieces to maneuver, even though he doesn't have many squares. Bishop b2, 98, and yeah, the idea is to be able to play f6. Everything is really clumsy. I mean, but black is really struggling to find reasonable squares, while white just puts everything on normal squares. Rook c1, and there he goes, f6. Sorry. Um, and well, white finally pushes, and he gets the knight into c4. It's good that he does it now, and he decides not to trade one of the knights. If anything, when that happens, he'll want the other one to occupy c4, I guess. um, The move black makes may seem a bit strange, just a bit. It's just that if he went back to d7, the knight has no prospects. Like, where is it going to go? f8, g6, it looks really far-fetched. Whereas when he played this, he had a very concrete idea. Where is that knight heading?
It's heading to d6.
I mean, the one on a8.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Is
know.
it here?
Well, yeah, I was thinking here. I don't. It seems like a natural square.
Oh,
I know there's already a knight
they're
here,
all
though.
bumping into each other.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know where else it would go. Well, I guess B5, but there's still a knight on. Maybe he's planning for the E8 knight to go on D6. I don't know.
That'll be nice. That'll be nice. And one problem Black has with coordination is that whatever maneuver he tries, he's dropping something. He plays bishop c7, he's dropping the pawn on c5. That's that. Then you see that the backwards pawn on c5 is also a liability. It's not even allowing him to shuffle his pieces around properly. This knight is actually kind of sneaky. He wants to go to c7, b5, and d4. And that I wouldn't like to see. I don't want to see a knight on d4, honestly.
Mm.
um, it's not going to happen because of tactical reasons. White just plays knight c4 as he intended. And black realized, well, I can't do that. If I go knight a c7, the c5 pawn just comes down in flames. Takes. I know it's really weird to exchange that knight for that bishop, but it's just that c5 is not holding anymore. It loses the pawn. um, yeah, it's inevitable. So every maneuver seems to have a concrete problem, which is kind of normal if your pieces are this clumsy. So rook c7, which is a death sentence for the knight on a8. Now we improve. Knight fd2. The knight f3 was doing nothing, so knight fd2. Very clever. He doesn't even allow black to trade a couple of minor pieces, like play bishop g4, pin, and then capture. Hey, not a great trade, but black is suffocating. Black is absolutely suffocating, and all four minor pieces for each side are on the board. Like, that's the worst
Mm.
possible situation for someone who is struggling with space. Um,
And the knight on the A8 is just funny.
This one can't even move. I mean, it's more centralized, but it doesn't have squares. Yeah, the pieces are just
Yeah,
stepping one over each other.
this looks like a Karpov game, really.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really good position at this play. Um, so bishop d7. Because what else? Maybe he wants to play bishop b5, um, which is still not a solution, I guess. And now white basically wins. He's immediately making inroads.
Can we afford to go rook e3 with a rook lift? You know, like queen h5, rook e3, rook h3. Because how is black going to bring pieces over to defend?
Rook e3 to play rook g3.
No, to play rook h3 and queen h5.
There's still this, but
Uh,
yeah, I see. Um, you could still maneuver, yeah, but the thing is, white has
even
something decisive like, right away.
decisive.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
it's quite forcing.
we can just take on e3 and then a6.
On,
We can take on d6 and a6. No.
oh, I see. Knight takes, bishop takes a6.
Yeah.
But there's still rook a7, and you drop your own pawn on, or yeah, I guess that. Knight takes. Yeah, you drop your pawn on a5. I don't know if you keep that one.
Hang on. Okay, if we go queen e2, there's knight c7, I guess. Yeah.
Or queen takes a5. Takes queen on
Mm.
that too. Now, if the position opens up at this stage, with his pieces being so bad, um, probably won't survive, I guess.
I mean, I
Um,
looked at knight d6, knight takes d6, knight c5, but I just feel that's helping black because we're just trading pieces there, and I don't see the follow up. And you know, we could trade two sets of knights there, which are useful
yeah,
in this
maybe too
position.
much. Yeah, maybe too
I mean,
much
there's
of it for that.
h4. There's h4 just probing the king side there. Maybe
Yeah, but it's
yeah.
still not like something that you can say, okay, this wins.
Okay. I could go bishop e2, trying to trade off light squared bishops.
Okay, position is sound. I like the spirit.
Okay. Vivek's a strong player in the stream. He's suggesting. Well, he says, I wonder if f4 works. He's usually right, so I'm curious.
F4. Yeah, he's right.
Hmm.
Well, now that one, yeah, some calculations need to be carried out, but still, when the center blows up here, look at the knight. I mean, e8 and the knight on e8. He's not ready for this kind of action, and in fact, it takes F loses material. E5,
Oh boy. Now
F takes E,
we're
and
going to be the one pawn sacking, not black. well, we can get
You're
the
gonna get everything back. I
yeah,
mean, it doesn't.
yeah, 96 bishop e5.
Yeah, you undermine the whole structure. Bishop e5,
Uh,
and well, that's the
knight, yeah,
problem of
yeah.
graphic.
Then knight c4. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, he's gonna drop an exchange and probably more soon to come, like queen f8,
Oh, Peter
knight c4.
Peter Finn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Peter.
he said f4 and e5. Although he said it after you said it, so
Oh,
I don't know how much credit he gets. Okay,
we will believe Peter, I
okay, okay.
guess. So he takes f e5, you blow out the center, and it's over. So queen e7, but it's still not enough to call. Pawn takes, and it's about lifting the blockade, because if you lift the blockade on these seats, is going to be a problem. Knight take these seats, knight take these seats, and thanks to our better coordination, we do have a replacement. And black is going to grab his knight, and he sees it's on a8 again. It's out of
Mm.
the game. Um, and yeah, nothing to do. E5 is falling apart, and
So knight
he can't move the
c4,
knight.
bishop takes e4, and then queen d6.
All right, queen d6. In fact, black resigns right here because queen d6 fails.
I think we have bishop e5.
Uh,
Mm.
queen d6, bishop e5, and d6 is coming nonetheless. And
Mm-hmm.
well, it's an exchange. And again, probably more in a few moves. um, so Villas has actually resigned here. It's hopeless. There's no answer to this. It's um, quite a shocking display. But what I really like about this game is the the maneuver rookie one bishop f1, because you have to see it very deep to realize e4 c4 is a nice uh, position upon sacrifice. Um, So yeah, well, this is a kind of training that is also worth doing, and collecting positions that look similar in the sense that they have similar themes. It's kind of useful. This position upon sacrifice is very typical, where you sack a pawn and push the other
Yeah.
to gain some squares. Um,
Yeah, those are still not on my radar. Like once in a blue moon, I'll see something like that, but it's yeah, that's not an automatic thing for me yet. It's so easy to discard, like sacking a pawn for me. Um, Even in the end game, sometimes there's a very simple maneuver in the end game where you sack a pawn just for even one move, but then like you move your king and then you're going to get the other pawn back, and your king is better at the end. Um, and I miss those all the time. So I'm still working on adding that to my vocabulary.
Yeah, I mean it's a process. Of course, you've seen it sometimes, and maybe it's not enough to completely
Mhm,
fully incorporate it into your game. But when you see it once and again, it happens to you in a game. You
mhm,
missed it, but you analyze the game and you
mhm,
realize, and then you see it in more examples. It
mhm,
becomes more natural. I mean,
mhm,
it starts to form part of the landscape of possibilities,
mhm,
and until it becomes second nature. And
mhm,
that's how you made progress up to this point. That's how we all make progress in
mhm,
chess. Some things just become more natural, and we
mhm,
begin to incorporate those to our game. Of course, it's a lot of work, as
mhm,
well. You very well know. You've been around for a while, so yeah, it takes some time and effort. But yeah, maybe focusing on some things that you normally don't pay that much attention to may pay off. Some areas of your game improved greatly doing so. So I don't see a reason why your positional judgment, if you work on it with well maybe games or positions that are more uh, thematically inclined to
mhm.
well not such a mess but more like positional themes and patterns, it will bring some benefits. I'm pretty sure.
That's one benefit to trying like to playing different openings, because as you know, for almost my whole chess life, I've just played one opening for everything, one response, and I've slowly expanded that a little bit. I switched to the bird, and recently I started playing e4 a little bit, just sprinkling it in, which is scary because I forgot so much about e4 already, even though it hasn't been that long since I played it. But I know that the bird is very, very similar to Dutch structures, but there's still some uniqueness to it. And so yeah, you start to learn some different ideas, as you say. So I think playing different openings is a good way to do that, to go about finding new, to encountering different positions and structures.
Yeah, you force yourself to play out of your comfort zone. You don't play the same structure once and again. Yeah, it's a way. It's the way to improve. Yeah, very interesting. I went through a lot of your games these days, and yeah, that's I think that's what I can say so far. Of
Yeah.
course, I'll see, I I'll follow a little bit more, but to be completely sure. But I think since you've been focusing so much on tactics and openings, that mostly um, positional chess end games, maybe simpler positions where you need to find the plan more than to calculate everything exhaustively. uh, maybe that will help.
Mm-hmm. Um, I I let, let me. Oh, can I do this? Give me 1 second here. Did you hear about this in the news? I just heard about it yesterday. In the chess news. Um, I'm trying to share. Oh, I have to click down here. Okay. Did you hear about in the Chinese tournament? I forget the name. Oh my God! I'm just looking at the. Wow, that was crazy. Okay, sorry. So it was played. Might have been played yesterday or so. I forget. Okay, it's all in Chinese, so I don't know the name of it. But it was a classical, FIDE rated serious tournament in China. Did you hear about that?
No.
Okay,
What's up?
I'm just going to add the game here. I just want you to see it really quickly. Yeah, so this was Alexander Indyk against Gulyo Zhou. I'm sure I mispronounced the names. So this is the game here. So it was
I know the player with the white pieces. Yeah, that's a strong master. So
2600
interesting.
FIDE. Yeah, so he played a 1900. Now I know that like Chinese players are underrated, but this guy wasn't really underrated. I think he's a normal 1900. He was a kid at like 13, I think, but this has been going around the rounds on the internet. This game, and basically the 2600 I think did not take his opponent seriously, and he kind of just thought he could get away with anything. And his opponent just played very well. I just looked at the if you run it with the engine, like the graph, it's just a perfect play, not a single inaccuracy from black. A perfect game. But white plays so terribly, and it's just a complete disrespect of his opponent. He probably just thought he will steamroll his opponent. And I think if more strong GMs and super GMs played lower rated players, they might be surprised how it's not as easy as they think it is. So I'll just show you the game because it's pretty amazing what White thought he could get away with. And again, this is a serious tournament, right? This is not online. This is not a blitz tournament. This is a classical FIDE rated.
It says 1 hour 30.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Yeah. So the 1900 is up top. White's on the bottom. And so yeah, White tries to get out of theory just to keep, to get out of book and outplay his opponent, but he just gets way too overconfident about his skills. And again, I think he just underestimates what a 1900 can do. You can't really, like, a 2600 is unbelievably stronger than a 1900. You can't compare them. But at the same time, you can't just do whatever you want. You can't just, yeah. So anyways, and I'll put the engine on too. It doesn't show on my, it doesn't show on my stream, but just to, yeah. Now I know, like, in the Sicilian, you can play Rook G1, like the freak attack. And actually in a lot of bird lines, you go Rook G1, or even G4, and you sack the G4 pawn. But this is just the start of it, though. He goes way overboard. So G4, and so this is still, like, playable, but then, yeah, white just gets out of hand with how he plays this, and black, the 1900, just plays very principled. It doesn't do anything fancy.
Nice. Thanks, and he
yeah, and then I think it was, this is, and then white makes a very odd move here, knight f G5. So black takes on E4, and white has to recapture, and E5, and that's one fewer piece for white to attack with here. And if you're curious about the engine, it's already -2. Yeah, it's already -2 here. A3, I guess, stopping knight B4. And
would you play before himself, maybe?
Sorry?
Would you play before himself? Yeah, this is
What, here?
it's wild how he got. No, I mean A3 with the idea of playing before himself. Like, he has no pressure on D4 anyway. Like, he has no pressure on D4 to make that happen.
So yeah, black played bishop F5. He's just got a lot of pressure on this B1 H7 diagonal. So he goes, and then Queen C2 was another inaccuracy according to the engine. But there's no, it's still -2. Computer's recommending bishop D3. You blockade the D pawn, and you protect the knight. It wants to go bishop D3, Queen C2. That's what the computer suggests. But yeah, he went Queen C2. Yeah, yeah. This is the tied with the top move. So Rook G3, which is the best move. It's -3 now, by the way. It's just a complete disaster for white.
Change, yeah.
Yeah, Queen E7. I'm not sure what this does. It
just connects the rooks. You don't need to do anything.
Oh yeah,
too fast.
Okay, yeah, no rush. Okay, yeah, castles. Yeah, this is the best move here. And then F2. Yeah, F2, bishop D3, hoping. Yeah, G6, and then yeah, the best move. Yeah, Rook D8. I guess there's threats of taking on E3, maybe. Yeah.
There's no Queen D5.
Sorry, there's no Queen.
Yeah, with Rook D8, there's no Queen D5. There's nothing. Yeah, has everything under control.
Check. Yeah, King G7. And if you look at the times, so black used a lot of his time. I think it was just 90 plus 30. It wasn't secondary time controls, I don't think. Okay, and then yeah, check. And it's just I mean, just an embarrassing game for white. Like a 2600, a 20. He's 700 points higher than his, and he gets absolutely crushed. And then he resigned here. But I mean, white. Yeah, I mean, I think white can get away with some of this stuff, but I think he went too. Don't you think he went like overboard? Like. I mean, that
G4 G5, I know it exists in this setup with the bishop b2. Maybe it's not the most practical approach against a player who you should beat in the long run. That's
Mm,
what I would say. Maybe he was, I don't know, in a hurry. He wanted to finish the game off a bit too quickly.
mm,
Um, but the thing is, nowadays everyone plays well. I mean, if you're going
yeah,
to face uh, a player who is below 2,000, they're not blundering anything. They have good theoretical knowledge, so you're not even sure you're going to get something out of the opening. And if you make a big mistake, you can be pretty sure that you're losing that game.
mm,
So it's a bit strange. I don't know if he doesn't play too many open tournaments, but in open tournaments, these upsets are not that rare anymore.
mm,
Everyone is playing good chess, and if you're not on your day, it can happen. Well, it did. The thing is, if you give a good stable advantage to a player of this level,
mm,
they will make you suffer.
mm,
Doesn't matter who you are, basically. F5 was really good. I mean, I think F5 is a highlight here. It solves everything. He managed to play E5 later on, killing the bishop on B2. And there's not a trace of an attack after F5.
What's kind of nice
That's a really
about these broadcasted tournaments, because this was broadcast to Lichess, is that you can see the time for each move. That's kind of cool. So we can see he spent about 8 minutes on f5. It's kind of neat. Yeah, it's kind of imagine if
how much did White spend here?
imagine if we could do that in the back in the history with those classical games from like the 50s and
Oh
30s.
yeah, we'll
Oh,
know.
yeah. I mean, sometimes in the books they write how long they spent, like, yeah, but not every single move. That would be really cool to see that. Um, I mean, according to the engine, it was really where White went really wrong was this knight move. This this knight fg5. And his opponent played right away. He took it
Yeah.
right away. Didn't even like instantly. He played it.
Mhm.
Wow.
How much time did White take for
Knight f.
after
Oh,
Black played F5?
yeah. Oh, right away,
Not
instant.
too long.
Yeah, right away.
Well, yeah, well, he can't really move anything. That's a good example of an only move. Like, if you're going to play
Okay.
knight g3, you're basically accepting you're much worse. E5
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Black
Yeah.
just gonna, yeah.
But then maybe
Uh,
here, maybe this, even this was fast. He played this right away too. But where else is he going to go?
Makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no option.
So maybe
But
here.
after F5 might have surprised him. Yeah,
Oh, f5. Uh, well, let's
F5
see.
is a really good move.
But his next move. Oh yeah, here he spent 7 minutes here.
What is the move if not
Bishop
that?
d3. The computer
Bishop
says.
d3.
Yeah. Although this is
Knight
still better
b4.
too. This is second best. Knight takes f6 and then queen b1.
I guess queen
It
b1.
wants to go to e4.
Oh, so there's no d takes e. Yeah, there's no d takes e3 because the bishop b2 is not hanging anymore. I guess.
D takes e3 because the bishop. What bishop?
Yeah, like knight takes, bishop take. I guess bishop takes.
Mm-hmm.
But we still have this hanging. Really, queen b1 is the move here?
Yeah, it wants to go to e4. So queen b1, and then it wants to go to e4. I mean,
Oh, we're attacking this. Oh, well, that's kind of cool, but also,
and then it says then it wants to take just recapture here. It's still
yeah.
it's
And
a
this is hanging, but there's mate on on g7. Bishop takes, queen takes. We attack g7. There's no time for this.
right.
Oh, it all feels pretty shaky for a human player, though.
Yeah. White's already in trouble here. Yeah. So that was second best. I guess this was third best here. This knight fg5, but yeah, bishop d3. It's -1.
It's still from position.
Yeah,
But
it wants to
it's
go for
still a
that.
rich position.
Yeah, and then I think it would then. I mean, black's credit, Black played very almost flawlessly.
Yeah, very convincing.
Yeah. Although
Yeah,
ace three, I mean, well, computer likes ace three, but um,
maybe he wants to play bishop d3 without knight before being a thing.
yeah, computer doesn't recommend knight b4. Well, it likes it, but it's suggesting knight f or bishop f5 first.
So that's like,
Yeah, I guess that, yeah, because it's pinned,
yeah,
and then coming here.
as long as the bishop on b2 is uh, is trapped like that, and the white is just worse. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
never.
white's just in trouble. Yeah. Mm.
But what a game Black played. I mean, he
Yeah,
didn't flinch. He
no.
just did everything he felt like he had to do to
Yeah.
subdue white. I mean, it was absolutely
A
madness.
totally
Uh,
legitimate win over a GM. Not, I mean, he destroyed the GM. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
impressive. Very impressive.
yeah, and he took his time. Yeah, so that's, and I think that's a kid. I think that's a kid. So yeah, legitimate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of room. We're probably gonna see this player much higher in the near future
Yeah,
because uh, that was really convincing.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, just a reminder to, yeah, not. I mean, you got to take 1900 seriously. Like 1900 over the board, they're no joke. They're serious players still. You,
Yeah, and if it's an open tournament, well, I mean, I'm sure Indy knows this much better than I do, but well, he chose quite a. I'm quite surprised that he chose such a sharp variation to just take out the 1900
mm,
because I'm sure he can play a much more
mm,
technical win
mm,
for more technical win, and he'll
yeah,
probably get it.
yeah. There's no reason
uh,
to take a risk with such a sharp opening, right? Just yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I would get that he would not expect Black to react
Mm,
so precisely
yeah,
because
yeah,
he
yeah.
played really cool.
But you
Knight
know,
e8, f5.
But you know what? I just noticed this is round 6. So if he's paired up with round 6, then he should be more careful because his opponent has same score as him, right? So,
He
um,
managed to get there.
yeah, right. Like I can understand if it's round 1 or 2, but round 6, yeah, I don't know. You gotta respect your opponent in round 6, I think, right?
Well,
uh,
clearly, this player um, had some previous good results.
yeah, maybe he saw his games. Maybe the Chinese player knew his theory very good. So White got scared and played something really offbeat. But um,
A tremendous
yeah,
game by Black.
yeah,
Really, really good.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, well, thanks again, Alessandro. So just to recap this lesson, it's kind of like a reminder of really again how I need to play more pragmatically and how the clock is a weapon and part of the game, and sometimes the best move is not the best move. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the best move is the second best move. If it
Yeah.
um,
If you're down to 3 minutes, you can't even tell. I mean, you just have to make the best move you can under those conditions. I mean, it's impossible to play perfectly, even with 10 minutes on the clock, honestly. Uh, but when you're down to 3 minutes, have to play and, well, hope for the best.
I mean, I guess
And the 10 minute game is kind of like that. I mean, you just stop to calculate when you absolutely must. You can't second guess every decision because
mm.
suddenly you have 3 minutes and you have time for nothing.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. I didn't really think about it, but like in a blitz game, like let's say a 5 minute game, let's say 5-0 for simplicity. You can't afford to spend 2 minutes on the first 5 moves of the game. Like you have like, and that sounds obvious, and it is obvious, but I'm not applying that same logic to a 10-minute game because I'm fine. I'm fine with spending half my time on the first, on the first like 13, 15 moves. But that's, yeah, I don't know. There's some disconnect in my brain where I can play blitz. I can play blitz fast. I know that I can't afford to spend my time and bullet too. I know I can play bullet and blitz knowing that I can't afford to spend all my time thinking. But for some reason, there's a disconnect with me in rapid. I don't know why. I guess I just feel like 10 minutes is plenty of time, but it's really not.
Rapid is tricky. I mean, I've heard many people complain that it's really close to blitz, but it kind of tricks you into thinking you have time somehow,
Yeah.
and then you realize you don't. Yeah.
So I
The
wonder.
only
I wonder
the
if I
only
should.
difference might be
Sorry,
that you get some time in a difficult position. You get some time to,
a little
well,
bit.
collect
Yeah.
yourself and try to find something. But that's it. I mean, for the rest of the game, it really plays out as a blitz.
So
I
I
think
want something I can try. Maybe is like I think mentally I might be thinking of rapid closer to classical, but I should probably think of it closer to blitz.
it's way closer to blitz.
Yeah.
I think it's not even close, especially with you play without increment. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
really
Yeah.
that really puts it even closer. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I'll try to use that mindset of that I'll try to think of it almost like blitz. I wonder if that'll
Yeah,
have an
yeah,
effect.
it basically gives you some time to stop at one particular confusing moment where you don't really understand what's going on or it's an absolute mess.
Hmm.
And you have to make a difficult decision that could just break the balance. Like
Mm,
either you're winning or you're trying to
mm,
survive somehow. But if it's just a normal position out of the opening, you have a lot of normal moves, pick one.
mm.
The one that seems best.
I think the way
Uh,
I play as if in 1,000 years from now there'll be like archaeologists. They're digging up
that,
my old games, and then they're going through it, and they're like, oh, why did he play that? This move was a little bit better. I think that
it's like third best, man. What is
yeah,
it?
yeah, I know. I think I'm much. I care so much about my accuracy over the result. I should focus more on winning. I mean, uh, like I guess like Fisher and Tall, they cared more about the result. They don't really care how they got there, right? Like they would both make confusing moves and keep things tactical and and sharp.
Also, think of it this way: you're killing your accuracy for the last few moves anyway. So, because
That's
if you
that's
don't have
true.
time at the
Yeah.
end, you're gonna
Mm.
make mistakes, and
That's
that
true.
will make your accuracy go down.
That's true. And that's probably why my graph, like my like the centipon graph, is like if I'm white, it's like good. It's like woo, and then well, I'll do it more in camera, but it's like this, and then at the very end, then it just drops, and and then I lose, right? So yeah, so like,
It's
what
off
good
the
is
cliff.
it? Yeah, so yeah, no, that's a fair point. Yeah, it's this is a battle for sure.
The thing
Battle.
is, internally we try to justify. Well, I didn't have time, you know. But in truth, it doesn't matter. I mean, it still has the same effect. You lose the game, so it's still not a good excuse to some extent. I didn't have time well, but you put yourself in that position, so it doesn't
Mm,
really matter if you, what the reason was why you blundered. Of course, it had to do with time, but at the same time, well, you got yourself there. So,
yeah, yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Again, it's time management is completely underappreciated part of the game, and I would love for a good chess book to come out on it, talking about the psychological component, but then also somebody should write about the scientific component, going through like the math and numbers and probabilities, going like running statistics on things. That would be an absolute fantastic book, and even useful at the grandmaster level. I'm sure somebody needs to write that. Yeah.
yeah, well, it's a gap in the market, and
Yeah.
I think no one has done it.
No,
That's for sure.
yeah, no, there was a book that came out on Chessable called something like Time Trouble, something like that. No, Just in Time, I think it was called. It came out recently, maybe like 10 months ago or so, and I got really excited. No, it's called TikTok. It's called TikTok. And I got really excited, and then I looked in it, and I was very disappointed because it wasn't about how to manage your time. It was about playing like tricky moves and confusing moves or practical moves in the game. So it was more about what moves you play on the board as opposed to time management decisions. So they missed the ball on that, unfortunately. But yeah.
Not what you were looking for.
No, and other people said the same thing. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, thanks again, Alessandro. I'll try my best to work on all of this, and I'll try to schedule more lessons soon.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
Hope to see you soon too.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks
Take
again.
care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Hey. Okay. I'm still here. I just have to reconfigure some things. Yeah. So I'm still here. I need to have a better transition from that because I think a lot of people just log off as soon as I do that. Yeah, give me a second. Okay, we have 5 viewers on YouTube. I don't know how many just logged off a second ago. Hello, Rishadan Sansu. 2 on Twitch. I am going to play games even though I just had the lesson. I want to take these off. And then I have to adjust the microphone. There's so much technical. Oh, my ears popped. So much technical setup required here. Oh man, I'm really losing my hearing. And okay. Oh, I have to change the board size. Yeah, I'm going deaf, literally. Okay, we have to go to 72. I wish Lichess made this easier to do, but they don't want to. Okay, got it at 72. Oh man. I am literally losing my hearing. I'm going to need hearing aids soon. I actually am overdue for hearing aids, but I'm still in denial. Okay, I'm going to play a game. I think everything is ready for me to play a game. Oh, I wanted to update CPT, but I'll do that later. And I'm not doing Puzzle Streak today. I will skip it because I won't have time to get a game in with the lesson. Dr. Lenk is my opponent. I played him 3 times before, apparently. What do we do here? I think it's E3. I saw a message from you, but I can't read it while I'm on stream. I had a very busy day today. Tomorrow, slightly less busy. And then it won't be too bad for a while. And then later in the week is busy again. But yeah, today was a busy day. Okay, it'd be nice to get a win or two tonight. Finish in the green. Not many viewers today. For whatever reason. Maybe because I streamed earlier than usual. I mean, there's 1 on Twitch and there's 5 on YouTube. And it's been like that most of the stream. Okay, my opponent's thinking here pretty long. My leg, I just noticed, fell asleep. So I got pins and needles in it. Oh. Maybe I'll read a book while waiting. Oh, he's really thinking here. There's a grandmaster coming a few blocks from my house tomorrow to hold a simul, of which I'm not going to. And also tomorrow there's a tournament, over the board tournament in Victoria, of which I'm not going to. But at least there are chess things going on. Anyone you got the one on checkmates? This is a good book, actually. But it's a terrible title. My opponent's not moving. Okay, there he is. Okay, C5. Do I hear sound, by the way? Yeah, I do. I literally am going deaf. C5 is unusual. I probably shouldn't overthink it. I should think of it more as blitz. Here he is, knight d7. I should probably just play bishop e2. Yeah, this stops d4, so that is interesting. But yeah, let's go bishop e2. Yeah, this is it incorrectly named. It has nothing to do about beating your dad at chess. It's literally just 50 checkmate themes, but they're laid out very clearly. So yeah. Okay. What do we do here? The c5 is interesting. Maybe knight c3. There's a6. I guess is he still threatening to take here? Yeah, so maybe I need to play g3. I don't want to play g3. Okay, g3 it is. Oh, wait, did I just blunder? I think I'm... Uh-oh, I blundered. Whoops. What did I do? Okay, I thought he might have had this and then bishop. Okay. Okay, you know what? I'm chatting to him. I'm going to minimize chat. Can he still take here? I might have to go rook g1. Maybe check and then queen e2. Take, check. Queen f2. Okay, let's do that. Does he have bishop g2 at the end? Boom. Boom. Take, let's say. Queen e2. Yeah, takes, check. Queen f2. No, he doesn't have time. So let's do that. I can go queen e2. Oh, my. It's scary. I got so many health issues. Okay, then, yeah, just queen e2 here. Is my bishop getting trapped? Maybe I have d3. And then try to hide here. It's certainly awkward. He spent 2 or 3 minutes on that c5 move. Okay. I don't know where the knight is going, so let's just develop. And then maybe b3. To get the bishop out. Could also try maybe knight e4 here. It's because we are up a pawn. I mean, he's going to get good development. Either b3 or I should go here, knight e4. He's going to put a rook here and then b3. Is this a move? Okay, let's go b3. I want the king safe, but knight e4 was looking good too. So knight b4. I might just go bishop b2. It takes, I could take with the pawn. Because I still want to cover this so I can play queen f2. Queen f2 takes, there's check. It's awkward, but I think I'm good there. Been so thirsty. Open up chat here. Six on the YouTube. And one on the Twitch. Poor Twitch. Friday night. Got to get blood work done tomorrow. It's always scary. It's scary, man. You get your blood work done and then you see the results online a day or two later. I always get so anxious looking at the results. But I've got a lot of health issues. Okay, yeah, he's in another deep think. He did this on move 2 or 3. Do I exercise at all? I do, not as much as I should. I'm slowly trying to improve my eating habits. That's where I could still improve a lot on. I'm trying. I think I do a decent amount of walking, not as much as I should. Coffee. I just finished drinking. No, but what you guys need to realize about my coffee intake, because of health issues, I literally had no caffeine for about 10 years. And I mean no caffeine, like no chocolate, nothing chocolate, no tea, no coffee, no pop for 10 years. So I realized that I could start consuming coffee again. And so I'm kind of enjoying that. Okay, so bishop b2. There's knight d4, and if takes, I think I can move the knight somewhere. It is awkward though, but I am up another piece. I think I can do it. I don't want to spend too much time on this. So let's play it. Yeah. So let's play it. And then knight a4. Oh, here comes the doggy. Hello. Welcome. You didn't eat all day. Can I show the dog on camera? I'm looking after this dog. Where are you? I shouldn't have done that. Oh, camera's. Or why am I? This is why I lose on the clock. Showing pictures of dogs. I'm going to minimize chat because I'm spending too much time. So I think I need to go knight d1. Is this mate? Take here. Take, check. I can take with the knight. Okay, let's try that. Oh, C2 is susceptible to things. Yeah, this is extremely dangerous. Is knight D5 a move? Knight D5 looks terrifying. Maybe I can push here. No, I can take on E4, D4. I can take on D4. Okay, yeah, so bishop G3, HG here, queen F2. That's why I played queen E2 earlier. Okay, well, queen F2. What did he take? A knight. Okay, well, let's... Ooh, how do we recapture? Probably was the king. Yeah, so let's not spend more time on that than we need to. Takes, I think I'm going to recapture. What does he do now? Okay. So maybe just queen. Oh, he wants to take here with the knight. Could almost sack it. Okay, take. So check. Do I go to C1? I mean, this seems better, but it connects my rooks, but my king is not so safe here. Queen A5. I mean, I have C6. I think I can get away with this. It's scary, but this is not a type of life I want to live. Putting the king on C1. So what's the material difference? I'm actually not even up anything. Unbelievable. I actually thought I was up some material. I thought I was up like a piece or a pawn. At least a pawn. I thought I was up at least a pawn here. And that's crazy. I wonder what I did wrong, because that C5 move I hadn't seen before, and it shouldn't have been good. Oh, I think I know why. The G3, I must have had something better than G3 earlier. So I just need to survive for 90 seconds, but that's easier said than done here. Yeah, so I could go here, but then there's bishop here. So let's go C6. Let's do that. Just to stop bishop B5. Okay, we have H4, but there's a double check. So that's a very good move. I can go king C2 though. There's check here, king B1. I think I'm holding. Boom. He can also just go to H6. So that really does nothing. Oh my God. Okay, rook E1. Check. Okay, let's go here to start. So queen H6, I'm in the same boat. I thought I can just move here. Oh my God, there's mate. I'm mated. Check. And then mate here. No, I have this. That's mate, right? Okay, damn. Yeah, it's mate in like 3 moves. And then next move is mate. Wow. Ooh, okay, let's look at that with the engine. Very long things from my opponent there. 2 very long things. 2 minutes on c5, but I don't think c5 is good because I haven't seen that before. And then 2.5 minutes on rook e8. No, the computer likes c5. I don't know, man. I mean, that's a very long thing. Okay, c5. Top engine move. And then move 12. Just curious. Let me refresh. I don't think, do I think that long? The difference is when I think long and I make mistakes. He thought long, he played the best move each time. What about bishop g4? But no, he didn't like bishop g4 here. Okay, let me look from the beginning. I don't like losing the froms. I'm not happy about that. I'm almost 1200 now. G3 was bad though. I regretted it. I was talking a bit too much to chat, and then I played this. Because I thought he could... I thought he might be able to just take. And then bishop h3. But I guess white's a little bit better here. Yeah, but it's bad just in general after black develops, apparently. If I castle... I don't know. It's not so obvious to me. So knight c3. Like, what's the difference here? Oh, okay. So let's say he stops us. So it slowly wants to develop without making positional concessions. Okay. Yeah, here I got spooked. D3 is the best move. For reasons I don't know. If we go knight c3, now it's mate in 2. So, oh, I see. So the king can run. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, queen e2 is best. And then it wants to go to c4. And then, oh yeah, we win nothing, but... Wait, no, now it wants to go knight g5? Oh, wait. This is confusing to me. Oh, I see. Okay, what if he goes to c8? Oh, we can still just take. What am I talking about? Okay. And this allowed rook e8. So computer says knight g5, kicking out the bishop, or I need to play more actively here. I was thinking about knight e4, and that would have been... Sorry, no, knight e4? Yeah, knight e4. No, oh, it doesn't like knight e4. Why does it not like this? c4, my bishop's trapped somehow. Wait, it's not trapped. Oh, yeah, but we're going to lose the knight. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, I'm missing everything. I haven't won in 10 years. Yeah, so it wants to go bishop e4 or knight g5. Everything else is bad. Thanks for the subscribe, Yusuf. And then I'm just losing. And then here he made a mistake. Queen g2 is slightly better, but we're okay. And then I had to play bishop c1. Did I play h4? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I didn't know what to do here. So bishop c1. Yeah, and then I guess I'm surviving. Yeah, I just simply missed queen d2. Never crossed my mind until it was too late. Okay, rough to lose that. I'm just going to update CPT and then I'll play another one. It's pretty brutal though, the losing streak. Pretty brutal. Doesn't even make sense. Like I'm up or down 200 points on rapid doesn't make sense to me. That's too much of a spread. Might as well show what I'm doing. Forgot to do that. Boom. And I have this set up on YouTube vertical even. Where did the puppy go? I'm a little bit worried about him. He hasn't eaten in 26 hours. No, more than 26 hours. Like maybe 28 hours or 29 hours. He hasn't eaten a single thing. But he's been drinking, so that's good. Okay, so can you guys see what I'm doing here? Yeah. Whoops, damn mouse slip. Okay, and then what was I looking at? I was looking at this game from yesterday, and then e3 castles. Castles, boom. I think this is what I just looked at with Alessandro. Yeah, so I actually don't have this in my system, so I'll let that run. Well, this is not my dog. I'm boarding the dog, so it's normal very normal for dogs not wanting to eat on their first day, but he's getting to the upper limits of when dogs normally eat. Okay, I'm going to play another one. This might be my last rapid, and then I might do a blitz, and then that'll be it for me tonight. Oh boy, the copycat. I think it's this here. Let's see how long he copies and how much I can remember. Yeah, most people don't actually copy. Okay, so I forget what we do. I think we just do something really boring. I don't think it's castle. I usually castle. I think the computer wants d3 though. So I'm just going to do what I think I remember the computer liking. I don't even know. It doesn't even make any sense because d3 does nothing. Yeah, so knight c3 is now he still has control over e4. I don't know. I forget what to do. I forget what to do here. Queen e1 maybe. Queen e1 so I can go e4. Takes. He maybe just plays d5 now. Okay, can I push? And yeah, I think I need to start, like I told Alessandro, I think I need to start thinking of 10-0 games more like Blitz. Because it's so much closer to Blitz than it is classical. I have no idea how to play these positions. Where should I put this bishop? Maybe b3. Would this behoove me? I need to look up what behoove actually means. No, there's d5. Okay, I'm gonna go b3. Okay, and then maybe queen e2 here. No, I think we're still okay. Because he can get 2 pawns. Yeah, and then I go a3. Okay, so he achieved nothing here. Shit. So knight b5, there's c6, takes, and then he takes here. And I've, again, achieved nothing. So I just lost. Maxime, you got me. I literally have not won in 1 million years. Literally. By the definition of the word. Okay, queen f2. Take with the bishop. Man, I know I'm bad, but like, am I 1200 bad? Apparently I am. Apparently I am, and I'm still losing c2 at the end of this, and I lose the rook. Wow, what a terrible game that was. 18 moves. Terrible. I'm almost 200. It's so frustrating. I can never win a game. The worst losing streak of my life. Down 200 points on Rapid. Damn, I can't beat anybody. Anybody. He beat me in under a minute. Under a minute. He spent 58 seconds. Like, how am I that bad? He spent an average of like 2 seconds per move. Maybe 2.5 seconds per move. And it just destroyed me. Yeah, I mean, I walked into that skewer. So I apparently I'm okay after. So this was the wrong way to do it. Or taking with the bishop was the wrong way to do it. Yeah, because of this here. So I just did not see bishop c5 at all. Yeah, and you'd think there'd be a defense, but there's not. He just had something every single move. I'm surprised that this is not a higher or a better eval for black. I know the exchange isn't everything, but I'm surprised it's only 0.6. That's hard to believe. You know, it's almost equal. Again, I know the exchange, it's just the exchange, but you would think this is like minimum -1. Okay. Anyways, 2 losses with the bird. I got, like, as I say, the games are not even remotely close. Okay, I'm gonna finish with the blitz game. No, I'm not playing lots of games today because I had the chess lesson at the beginning. Okay, the Mengarini. And I always forget, we don't take, we go here. No, I gotta play quicker. I think we go here. And I think we go here. Still theory. Oh, I don't know this, though. It feels like I'm in trouble. Did I do something wrong? Because, okay, maybe I can go knight g6. I thought I played this correctly. I thought I played this correctly. So the losing streak continues. Okay, damn, wow. Sometimes I wonder why I even play chess, because just to be a punching bag, to lose 100% of your games. Something to be said for H takes, but I do want the rook open. I gotta, I don't know what I'm doing. That was a stupid move. That was a mouse slip. Okay. Wow. Just getting destroyed every game. No, I've been on a, whoa. And this guy, just everybody plays in 1 second per move. How did everyone do that? How did everyone play 1 second per move? I don't get it. Where did I go wrong? Whoops, I could have taken the pawn. Okay, I gotta play another one. I was wondering what went wrong. I could have just taken the pawn. I don't know how I missed that. I gotta make up for that. I might play 2 more blitz games. I want to make up for that loss. I might go E5. Rook E8, D5 maybe? Okay. Let's bring him, get him out of here. Okay. Low on the clock here. I don't want to play it, but maybe. Can I go here? Takes. I can take, right? Is this a move? I'm gonna experiment. Experiment a little. Okay, yeah, that's, oh, okay. Well, here now. Okay, there it gets sharp. Okay, I'll take that. Okay. Is D5 a move? Okay, let's attack this knight. Okay, that was a bad bishop anyway. I don't care about that. I could care less. I am going to flag though. Juicy square. Oh, he gets a juicy square too. Let's stop his juiciness first. Whoops, that didn't stop anything. I'm an idiot. Okay, go here. Push. I've got a fork, a Reno. Only 2 minutes on the clock. Can he take here? Okay, let's defend that. It's getting sharp. I might take that knight. Is this a move? Okay, let's go here. Here. And here, rook d3. I can attack this. Push, push. Let's take that. I have check here. No, I don't. I only have 40 seconds. I wasted a lot of time there. I did not play any of that well. I did not play any of that remotely well. I did not play any of that remotely well. I did not play any of that remotely well. This is protected. What am I doing? Check here. He can come back. Oh, get out of here. Check. Just move. I can't even go here. Damn it. Oh, I'm dropping everything. Oh, I was winning. I was winning. I blew it. I cannot win for the life of me. You give me 20 queens, I'll lose. It's impossible for me to win. He just takes everything. Oh my God. It's just impossible for me to win. It's just impossible. Absolutely impossible. I can never, ever win. Ever. It's impossible. Okay, sorry. Lots of whining. But it's utterly ridiculous that I can never win a game. and that's literal. I'm being literal. Like, when's the last time I won a game? Never. I've never won a game before. Just pure losses everywhere. Red. Pure red. Yeah, I'm going to end it there. I'll end it there. So 4 losses tonight, and 4 losses. Like, every day has been red. Bloody red every day. I just don't know how to win. Anyways, thanks for watching, though. I'll be back tomorrow with more games. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. See you next time.